You've flown before, right? You've looked out that small, oval airplane window, maybe taken a photo of the clouds, but have you ever wondered, why is it oval? Why not square, like a normal window? That tiny design choice has saved more lives than you can imagine. 1. The golden age of air travel. It was the early 1950s. Air travel was not like it is today. There were no cramped budget flights, no crowded terminals. This was the golden age when flying was a luxury for the rich. Passengers boarded wearing suits and dresses. Flight attendants served champagne and fine dining. And leading the way was the Havilland Comet, the first ever commercial jet airliner. It could fly faster, higher, and smoother than any aircraft before. And it looked stunning with large, square-shaped windows that let passengers see the world like never before. But beauty can hide danger. The first disaster, January 10, 1954, a comet takes off from Rome, bound for London. 20 minutes into the flight, the aircraft vanishes from radar. Search teams later find twisted wreckage floating in the Mediterranean Sea. At first, investigators have no idea what happened. The weather was clear, the crew experienced. It seemed impossible. Then, just 3 months later, another comet suffers the same fate. Mid-flight, it breaks apart in the air. All passengers and crew perish. People start asking, is it safe to fly in a jet at all? The mystery deepens, the accidents keep happening. The British government grounds the entire comet fleet. Engineers know something is fatally wrong, but they don't know what. The only clue? The wreckage. The torn metal looks as if it's been ripped apart from within, as if the plane had exploded without a bomb on board. What could cause a jet to literally rip itself apart mid-flight? The water tank test. The investigation team builds the world's largest water tank, big enough to fit an entire airplane fuselage. They submerge the comet, seal it, and pressurize it to match the conditions of high-altitude flight. Then they depressurize it and repeat. Again and again. At first, the aircraft shell holds, but after thousands of cycles, bang, a crack appears. In the fuselage, investigators rush to the site. The break has started at the corner of a square window. The deadly flaw. The science was simple but deadly. When a plane is at cruising altitude, the air inside is pressurized to keep passengers alive and comfortable. This means the fuselage is constantly pushing outward against the thin, cold air outside. On a perfectly smooth curve, that pressure spreads evenly. But a square window has sharp 90-degree corners, stress concentrators. Over time, each pressurization cycle makes the metal at those corners weaker, until it snaps. It wasn't a bomb. It wasn't sabotage. It was a design choice, and it was killing people. A turning point in aviation. The findings shook the aviation industry. From that day forward, every commercial airliner was designed with rounded or oval-shaped windows. But the roundness wasn't just cosmetic. The curves meant there were no sharp corners to concentrate stress. The load was distributed evenly, dramatically reducing the chance of metal fatigue. Still, the engineers didn't stop there. Zoom in on a modern airplane window, light glinting off the small hole at the bottom. Text on screen. But have you noticed the hole? The secrets you see every flight, layers of safety. Look at your airplane window today. It's not just one pane of glass. It's actually 3 layers of acrylic or polycarbonate. Outer pane takes the full pressure difference between cabin and sky. Middle pane acts as a backup, sharing the load. Inner pane, the one passengers touch, just for comfort and aesthetics. If the outer pane were ever damaged, the middle pane would keep the cabin intact until landing. The mystery hole. And yes, that tiny hole at the bottom of the inner pane, that's the breather hole. It equalizes pressure between the cabin and the space between panes, preventing fog or frost from forming. It also ensures the outer pane carries most of the load, not the inner one. It's a safety feature hiding in plain sight, right in front of your eyes on every flight. The human cost behind every engineering improvement is a human tragedy. The families who lost loved ones in those comet disasters never got them back. But their loss forced the industry to rethink safety, to value science over style. Today, more than 4 billion people fly every year. And every one of them owes a debt to those hard lessons learned in the 1950s. The final reflection next time you fly. Look at that oval window. See its curves. Notice the tiny hole. And remember, it's not there by accident. It's there because once upon a time, planes had square windows. And people paid for that mistake with their lives.